Have you ever wondered how a single request on the internet could silently affect thousands of users without them ever realizing it? Or how something designed purely for speed can suddenly become a weapon? Well, today we are diving into exactly that. And if you are someone who wants to understand real-world web attacks at an advanced level, you are in the right place. Welcome to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. Understanding caching. First, before we go deeper into the attack itself, let's first build a strong foundation by understanding caching. So when we talk about understanding caching first, a cache is a temporary storage layer that keeps copies of data such as web pages like HTML responses, API responses like JSON data, DNS records which map domain names to IP addresses, and CDN content including images, scripts, and videos. Instead of repeatedly asking the origin server for the same data, the user is served cached versions. This improves load times, boosts server performance, and reduces bandwidth usage. However, caches operate on a very simple assumption. If two requests look the same, they should get the same response, and cache poisoning exploits exactly this assumption. What is cache poisoning? Cache poisoning is an attack where an adversary manipulates cached data so that other users receive a malicious or altered version of a response. In simple terms, the attacker poisons the cache once, and everyone else who uses it gets served the poisoned content. This makes cache poisoning especially dangerous, because the attacker does not need to repeatedly target victims. Instead, the cache itself becomes the distribution mechanism. How cache poisoning works, conceptually. At a high level, cache poisoning happens when a system caches responses based on request attributes like URLs, headers, or query parameters. And then an attacker finds a way to influence how the server generates that response. Once that happens, the manipulated response gets stored in the cache, and other users requesting the same resource receive the poisoned version. This usually happens due to cache key misconfiguration or improper validation of user-controlled input. Types of cache poisoning attacks. There are several types of cache poisoning. One of the most common is web cache poisoning, which targets web application caches including CDNs and reverse proxies. Here, attackers exploit differences in how the cache interprets a request versus how the backend server processes it. If certain inputs influence the response but are not part of the cache key, attackers may inject malicious content that gets stored. Another type is DNS cache poisoning, which targets DNS resolvers instead of web caches. In this case, attackers attempt to corrupt cached DNS records so that a legitimate domain name resolves to a malicious IP address. This can redirect users to fake websites, often used in phishing or malware distribution. Then we also have application-level cache poisoning, where some applications cache API responses, user-generated content, and personalized pages. If user input is not properly sanitized before caching, attackers may inject harmful scripts or misleading data into cached responses. Impact of cache poisoning. Cache poisoning is dangerous because of its amplification effect. Once successful, it can lead to widespread content manipulation where thousands of users may see altered content from a single poisoned cache entry. It can also enable phishing attacks at scale, where users are redirected to fake login pages or malicious resources. Another major impact is data integrity issues, where cached API responses may contain incorrect or manipulated information. It can also amplify cross-site scripting or XSS, where injected scripts execute for many users. And finally, it can cause long-term persistence, where cached data remains poisoned until explicitly cleared or expired. Real-world relevance. Cache poisoning has been observed in content delivery networks, large-scale web applications, DNS infrastructure systems, and API gateways and reverse proxies. Even major platforms have historically faced issues where caching layers unintentionally served manipulated or outdated responses due to misconfiguration. Most cache poisoning vulnerabilities come from design or configuration flaws, such as not separating user input from cache keys, trusting headers or query parameters, blindly overcaching dynamic responses, lacking normalization between cache and origin server behavior, or poor input validation before caching responses. In essence, the cache becomes a blind replay system for malicious data. Identifying cache poisoning can be tricky, but security teams often look for unexpected variations in cached responses, inconsistent content between identical requests, sudden appearance of unauthorized scripts or redirects, cache hit behavior serving abnormal content, and differences between origin server response and cached output. Monitoring cache behavior and response integrity is crucial. All right, so let's talk about prevention and mitigation strategies. First, proper cache key design. Make sure that all inputs affecting response output are included in the cache key, or, explicitly excluded if they're unsafe. Second, input sanitization. Never, ever allow unvalidated user input to influence cached content. Third, separate dynamic and static content. Avoid caching responses that depend on authentication state, user-specific data, or sensitive parameters. Fourth, cache control headers. Use the correct directives like no store for sensitive data, private for user-specific content, and public only for, truly safe shared data. Fifth, normalize request handling. Ensure consistent behavior between the cache layer and backend server. Sixth, strict validation of headers and parameters. Headers and query parameters should never be trusted as safe by default, especially if they influence cached output. And seventh, regular security testing. Perform cache behavior audits, web application penetration testing, and CDN configuration reviews. Cache poisoning is a powerful reminder that performance optimizations can introduce security risks when not carefully designed. It doesn't rely on brute force or complex exploitation chains. Instead, it takes advantage of trust placed in speed and reuse. In modern distributed systems, where caching spans browsers, CDNs, APIs, and DNS infrastructure, even small misconfigurations can have large-scale consequences. Understanding cache poisoning is not just about knowing how attacks work. It's about learning how assumptions in system design can become security vulnerabilities when they are left unchecked. Now, it's your turn to think like a security researcher. Answer these questions. Why is cache poisoning more dangerous than a direct attack on a single user? What is the key assumption in caching systems that attackers exploit? Can you explain how cache key misconfiguration leads to exploitation? Which type of cache poisoning do you think has the highest real-world impact and why? If you were defending a system, what would be your first mitigation step against cache poisoning? If you followed this far, you are building a strong foundation in real-world exploitation thinking. So if you want more deep breakdowns like this from the Advanced Hacking Attacks and Exploitation playlist, make sure to like this video, share it with your peers, and subscribe to Bluehat Cybersec Academy. Because in cybersecurity, understanding the attack is the first step to stopping it. See you in the next one.